Okay. Oh, hang on, Deb. One more thing we got to do. Take one.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just kind of do a little quick welcome. This is the September version of our video update
Okay.
for Springbrook, and I'll introduce you, and then we'll just get started. In 3, 2, 1. I'm Doug Smith with Springbrook, and we're back with our September 2018 video update. This week, or this month, we're actually going to do a update with Deb Gretz, who is our head of customer support. So Deb, thanks for being with us today and giving us an update.
Thank you for the invite.
Let's talk a little bit about the support changes that are going on at Springbrook.
Yeah, I'm excited about them, Dave. I want to start this whole discussion really based on something that you had mentioned in the last video, and that was how thankful you were that they had taken the time for the survey and were candid with their responses. Because with that information, we gained a wealth of knowledge that is just the beginning. So some of the statements made in that survey is that you folks needed us to communicate more, and I think you and your team have done an awesome job with that start, with the videos, with the account management team and so forth. And I'd like to take it to the next level on support as well. Some of the comments on the survey were that we had gone dark. Did I already say that?
That's okay.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 3, 2,
Yeah.
1.
All right. Some of the comments on the survey had indicated that people were not satisfied with the support effort. So I just want to talk to the people about the various plans that we have currently in place and plans in the very near future to really create a positive support experience.
Great.
The first thing that we did as far as communication is we organized. We saw what you were doing in account management and thought that that was really a very healthy approach to reach out to the customers on a regular basis. So support wanted to get some skin in the game, and so we've created a customer care call plan where we would like to reach out to people as well.
Okay.
We're going to be focused primarily on the results of the survey, but not exclusively. We really want to get a more intimate understanding of our relationship with each one of our customers.
Right.
And as a result, we want to ask specific questions about our products and services and any areas that they feel that we can improve or areas that we do well. And we'll be compiling all this information with the effort of designing a plan to improve the process.
Excellent.
Also, one of the indicators in the survey is this Net Promoter Score. Would you recommend us to a neighboring community? And I think it's important, Dave, to ask that question on a regular basis, and I'll tell you why. And I think our clients might get a little annoyed or a little annoyed based on the fact that we're asking it at every turn in the road. I've met with all the departments. We all believe this is an important question for our clients to answer. So it's going to be presented at almost every client contact. And the reason for that is we're going through so much change now that we need to have this information trending, this Net Promoter Score trending. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? In other words, are we on track? Or do we need to redesign our plan? Do the customers not recognize that changes are taking place in Springbrook? So those are two key components I wanted to mention: the customer care calls to get to know our clients more intimately, their concerns, and we're going to push down those concerns to any department that will be involved, so that it'll be a collaborative effort to deal with those items, as well as this Net Promoter Score, which will be on email signatures, after webinars, after client contacts, and so forth. And again, I make a plea to you, our clients, to make every effort you can. It will only take seconds, but just click on the link, give us your score, so that, again, this trending is so critical for us to understand, to know if we're on the right path and going in the right direction. So thank you for that.
That's good feedback.
Yes. Also, there were a number of complaints about the support effort of Springbrook in the survey. So I do want to speak to the folks about efforts that we've made already and plans that we have moving forward. So we're designing our support team, we're redesigning our support team to really take on the effectiveness of some of the larger software communities. Currently, we have had a Tier 1 and Tier 2 in our support team, which is all about support. And we're going to be, we have incorporated Tier 3, which includes an engineering or a programming component within
more
our
technical aspect focus.
Exactly. So when people say the response time is not good, they're not necessarily talking, they could be, but they're not necessarily talking about the response time on our support calls. They're talking about our response time or our resolution time in getting cases resolved. Now, our support team can get that done in short order, but when it involves engineering, sometimes there's a pause in our delivery, and that's been a complaint. So we're incorporating the engineering effort as part of our support team.
That's great.
Yeah.
That'll make a big difference,
Oh,
I think.
we're excited about that. You know, we still have an engineering component in addition to Tier 3, which is now part of support. We also have the sustaining team and development. So it's just segmenting a part of that engineering effort to really be focused on helping the support team do our job.
Excellent. And have you added any people to the support team?
We have.
Nice.
You know, I don't know if you remember, but several months ago when Mark Jung was first the CEO, we added some former employees that came on board and so forth. And now we've had a recent development within the support team where we have brought back the Tier 1 call center effort. You know, after the acquisition of Excella, that position was phased out and the support team was taken on the responsibility of answering the phone. And we've reintroduced that effort on the support side. So we have a full-time person dedicated to answering the phone, backed up with another person, so that our effort is to never go into voicemail from this point forward.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. Also, some of you are familiar with Darcy Danheiser, and she had been with us on a permanent part-time basis. That position was eliminated. She had been working with us as a contract programmer during the peak seasons, end of year, end of quarter, and she does a phenomenal job. So when we took a look at the support team, we said we need her back on a permanent basis. So we were able to do that.
That's great.
So as excited I am about those two, and I am really excited about those two additions, I am especially excited to announce a surprise as it relates to our additions, and that is that David Burnett, who is known throughout our client base as the voice of Springbrook, is returning to assist us in the support effort. He's got other responsibilities in the office,
Yep.
but he's going to be assisting us with the call center, so people are going to be reacquainted or reintroduced to his welcome. Good morning, Springbrook. How can I help you?
Right.
You know, it's funny because in the 14 years that I've been to Springbrook conferences, he has been the most sought out person at the conference because of his voice, you know, that radio voice that he has, and everybody wanted to put a face to that voice. So
He answers the phone. They're used to
exactly
talking to him.
right. So not only is Springbrook back, but David Burnett's back in a
That's
part-time
great.
capacity.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit more about the the response time.
Yeah, that has been a pain point with clients, and let's just distinguish between response and resolution. Response is answering the phone and gathering the information, hopefully resolving the issue, and maybe a phone call later we do. But the resolution time is actually if it involves engineering, and we have to take it to the next level. That's not right. Stop. Okay, well, let me speak specifically to the response time.
Okay.
I just want to distinguish between response and resolution. Response is when we actually call the client back,
Right.
gather more information, hopefully solve the situation on the first call, perhaps the second. And the resolution time is when we actually solve the problem. So on the support side of things, the resolution time is quite short. On the engineering side, as I mentioned earlier, the resolution's longer, and we've made efforts to shorten that up. So,
Right.
also as it relates to the response time, is specific now that we're on that topic, we have started a new process. I think it's about 2 months old, which shows on the statistics of our CMR system to be very effective in improving that response time, but we're not there yet, Dave. We've got some work to do, so there's a series of iterations that need to take place, but that is our primary focus. On the support team, our primary focus is the response time to our customers, followed by the resolution time,
Okay.
which are 2 pain points identified.
Now, when you, as calls come in and they either aren't resolved, a backlog develops. What are you doing to address the backlog?
Yes, and that's a tough situation that we're in, and I'll tell you why. We had a recipe for disaster as it relates to volume of engineering cases, and that is we've allowed multiple versions of our Springbrook software, and we've allowed clients to make significant changes in a customized environment. So we're supporting multiple versions in a customized environment, which created an avalanche of engineering cases. We're working on that backlog now. We're trying to come up with a process that is efficient and fair to take care of the backlog, because we have to do that, Dave, in order to focus on our day-to-day. Our goal is to have no backlog, realistic or not. That is our goal. But before we can actually approach that area, we're going to have to take a look at the backlog and make some decisions on that backlog and then move forward. So backlog is another key word as it relates to our new direction. We want to make sure we clear the existing backlog, and strategically, in a sense that will make sense to not only Springbrook, to our customers, and then going forward to have a very tight control on whether or not that activity is expanding or not.
Okay, great. I'm going to stop. Is there other pieces here on this slide you want to touch on?
I do, because I want to go into the SLA severity.
Okay.
So I've already mentioned the engineering earlier, so I don't have to put it in here, but I did mention that Tier 3 is part of support and sustaining and development.
So, so let me tee you up. So that's great. It sounds like we're making great strides on the backlog. What do we, talk to me a little bit about SLA and our SLA goals.
Yes. Our support license agreement has been, and in many cases has not been, communicated to our clients. Typically that would be associated with a contract. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But we are putting a stake in the ground saying we will adhere to these goals. This is our goal as it relates to solving product defects. Okay. And in order to do that, Dave, we need to have some semblance of prioritization. And so we've come up with 4 components: critical, high, medium, and low. And critical would be a critical stop in a critical process. They call up, they say my payroll ACH file needs to be to the bank, and this situation is preventing me from doing that. Okay. That would be critical for us. For that and then I'll identify the other ones as well. High is also a work stoppage, but it's not in a critical process. And maybe it's importing fixed assets. Maybe it's running a process that doesn't have to be done today. It actually can be scheduled later in the week or sometime next week, but the client and the support team are in agreement about the delivery of that resolution.
Okay.
Medium is where we've offered them a workaround and they say, you know what, this works. This works. I'd like to have that report. Maybe a report broke and we gave them an alternate report that's very similar. And they say, this works. I love that first report. So when you get to it, I'd love to have it back, but it's not critical and it's not high.
Okay.
Low is the final category, and that's really based more on cosmetic type things. Okay. Typically, these calls come in saying, I just think you'd like to know that these columns aren't lined up on this report, or this word is,
It's good feedback to have.
Exactly. Right. And it's things we want to address. Right. But on the scale of priorities, it's very low level. Now, I will tell you, if it's a cosmetic defect to a report that goes to a city council, even though it's a cosmetic defect, because it's facing with a superior management body, we would consider that higher critical. Okay. So as I've identified the severities, critical, our goal is to respond within an hour and get it resolved in 72 hours. Now people say, 72 hours? You just gave me an example of payroll needs to be up by 2 o'clock. So the resolution comes in various components. It is either a data fix or a hot fix to get you through this critical process and get your job done. Okay. And we might need, up to 72 hours to fix the root cause of that problem so you never encounter it again. High cases, and again, remember this isn't a critical process, but it's work stoppage. High cases, our response goal is 4 business hours, and our resolution goal is within 14 business days. Okay. Medium, our response time is 8 business hours, and the resolution is 21 business days. And in low, our response time is 24 hours, and the response time generally is delivered in a service pack or a future release. Realize this is a defect that's impacting all of our clients, and of course we want all of our screens, all of our reports to be as professional as possible. So we'll pay attention to that, but we'll probably incorporate it in a service pack or a future release.
Okay, makes sense.
All right.
So talk to me a little bit about, there's a new community instance.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this office that it's overwhelming at times, but this is huge. We rolled it out on September 17th. You can't imagine the amount of hours we've put into testing the various processes and so forth. But the key factor here is we had been on an older version of Salesforce that was customized. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a recipe for disaster. So now we're on a current version of Salesforce where we don't need the majority, if any, of our custom. So now we're on a standard application that's superior to what we were using before, and it's going to be offering additional tools, features, and functionalities to not only Springbrook, but also to our customer base. And phase 1 just rolled out, and honestly, Dave, rolling this out was such a huge project that all we wanted to do is get the data right and get the data improved. So in the previous version of Salesforce, we carried a minimum amount of, in my opinion, a minimum amount of data on our clients. And in the new design of this Salesforce, we're really making it a very comprehensive approach to storing customer data, all aspects of customer data, the agency, the staff, the products, the call volume, and so forth. So I'm excited about that. Phase 2, however, is going to be when our teams at Springbrook and our clients are going to start to recognize additional features that we're putting in to Salesforce that will help both Springbrook and our client base.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes. Another component that we're rolling out, because they're tied together, right?
Yep. Salesforce
and the community portal. This one is extremely significant. Many of our clients were introduced to the Excella community, and we were a component of that, albeit small. Excella had been using the community for many years, and it was an introduction for us. We've been on it for a number of years now, 3 to 4 years, but we don't have near the volume of data that Excella has. So when you used keyword searches, it got commingled with Excella data, and people would say, I just can't find anything. So we are announcing the fact, or we had announced the fact, that we are incorporating our own Springbrook portal, independent of the Excella portal. Now, if you have both applications, you have access to both portals.
Okay.
But the Springbrook portal is going to be specific to Springbrook, so that when you do a keyword search, it's only going to be looking at Springbrook, SoftWrite, and KVS, our Springbrook family.
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And again, the rollout phase 1 is the first rollout, but there's going to be features incorporated in phase 2 where clients are going to be responsible to editing their contacts.
Right.
When I do an overview of the community with a client and they see me in the contacts of their agency, they say, wait a minute, a lot of those people aren't with us anymore. So it's going to be that cleansing of data, but we're going to empower our customers to be able to do that, saying, got a new finance director, got a new payroll clerk, I'm going to make that change right now so it's known across the board at Springbrook.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been through a lot.
We
There's
have.
a lot going on.
Yes, we have. And our clients have been through a lot.
Yep.
And I just want to thank you for working with us. It's been tough. It's been tough for us too. But as you know, I'm very client oriented, and that's my passion. So we're on the right track. I firmly believe we're on the right track, and I'm excited for these processes to continue to improve, and that the Springbrook experience will be an awesome experience for our
That's
clients.
great. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us for this video update from Springbrook. Okay, so now, here what I'm going to do is,
We're a little over.
that's okay. You know what? The first time, you know what I've always found in these things?
Yeah.
It's like anything else. Write it all up
Yeah.
and then cut.
Yeah. Mm.
Because there's stuff you go, I like that, but
Yeah.
I don't need to say that.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
that's okay. What I'd rather you do is get it all out first.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can listen
And the
to
next
it.
version might be a little of that too. We might trim this
It'll
down,
take
but
a
then I
while.
might, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to get there there are very few times you get a first pass and you go, oh, okay, I can live with that. Okay, so let me here's what we're going to do. I'm going to just 7:40. So probably the easiest thing I think to do at this point is I'm going to take the video and I'm going to just let you